Bruce by the Magic Guy. I'm your host, Sean, and we're going to be playing this sweet Glimpse of Titania deck you see in front of you. I've been working on this in secret, at least this version of it. I've compiled a lot of the different ideas that I've seen out there and also some of the suggestions from you guys, but I can't actually goldfish this version of the deck very effectively, and the reason being is just due to the nature of the deck. That has to do with the fact that we've got Teferis, and funny enough, if you're goldfishing the deck, I gotta show you why. When you goldfish this deck on Magic Online, you are your own opponent, and so the issue with this archetype is I want to be messing around with main deck, well, yes, main deck Titania, but also main deck Teferi. I don't think I can keep this either. So the issue with the main board Teferis, if I want to goldfish this deck, because it is definitely the kind of a deck that you can kind of get away with just goldfishing, it actually stops our own combo because we count as our own opponent. So the whole clause that Teferi has, each opponent can only cast spells any other time they can cast a sorcery. I think we should just jump into a league. I think I'm ready to mess around with this, but this is a build of this deck that's using the entire sideboard as a Karn board, which you don't really want to do, right? Sideboard is very precious, but I've found that situationally there are situations, well, I have cards that are relevant to the combo itself, and there's about 6, you could argue 7 pieces. The most important piece, of course, is the extra Cascade piece in our sideboard. Shardless Agent is indeed a Karn the Great Creator target, so that's the 4th agent is in our wish board, our Karn board. We've also got a way to give our team haste. We've got a piece that combos with Titania specifically. We've got a couple copies of her. The Zern Orb. We've got Spell Bomb, which allows me to bounce the Dark Dwellers. Spell Bomb allows me to bounce the Dwellers, the Quellers. Spell Bomb also just we can use against our opponent's threats. It's good to bounce. There's certain creatures that we need to bounce as we're going off or before we can start going off. So I've liked the Aether Spell Bomb. It also cantrips. The Conjurer's Bauble, I wasn't that high on at first. So this is the sacrifice, put 1 target card from your graveyard on the bottom of your library, draw a card. So what's cool about this is this lets us put glimpses back into our deck if we already have, let's say, another Cascader, access to another Cascade. I can put Glimpse of Tomorrow's back into the deck if they're in our graveyard. So that's actually been a really cool card in our Karn board. I've been really impressed with that. And then I just recently added a Brainstone because sometimes you get glimpses stuck in your hand. And so what Brainstone allows us to do through our Karn board, it allows us, like as we're comboing, as we're getting to activate our Karn, I get to go get Brainstone. If I have a glimpse in my hand, I can put it back into the deck and then we cascade. So this deck's actually pretty cool. I've liked a lot of it. This is very different than what you've probably seen out of a lot of other Glimpse decks. Some of the weaknesses is by not playing Sifters. As I'm going off, I have fewer permanents. Granted, the Tireless Provisioners help a little bit there, but we do need to be hitting our lands as we're going off because otherwise I'm not getting the landfall triggers from Provisioner. I'm not getting the landfall triggers from Omnath, Locus of Creation. But anyways, let's just jump in. I've got plenty of points. I'm certainly willing to blow them on this deck because I've been working on this for a while, and it's very possible that we're just going to get smashed. A lot of folks are ready for the Cascade decks now, unfortunately, and this is a Cascade deck that I've been jamming and working on. But anyway, let's go. Let's just go. Let's just do it. Glimpse of Titania. My first actual factual league with the deck. I played a lot of practice games with it, played a lot of gold fishing with it. Less so now that I'm playing the main board Teferis. But yeah, our early game literally just consists of furying and bone crushing our opponent's stuff. Occasionally we'll be slamming Teferi, we'll be playing out a Queller. But that's pretty much my early game. Maybe you play out Provisioner. We're just hoping to see... I think that this build of the deck is really, really hoping to see the Colony Gardens, even more so than other builds of this deck. So just an observation. Just pointing out some of the weaknesses as I see them. There have been quite a few. Hey, what's up, Mackie? How's it going, friend? So I am working on a weird, derpy Glimpse of Tomorrow archetype using the free mana from Omnath, Locus of Creation, and Provisioner. Also, Titania generates you mana, by the way. She's also a mana generation because she gets us back a fetch. But she's not nearly as significant as the amount of mana generation as these two pieces. Snappy says, happy to be part of your love, growing of Glimpse. Yeah, so this build is less on the Dwellers plan. This build is using Quellers, actually, to recast the Cascaders because I'm playing more Planeswalkers in this build, and so we actually want the combo to stop temporarily. And so the Spell Quellers have actually been really good for that. They allow me to, like, I'm comboing, okay, we stop. Queller grabs the Cascader, and then we have a turn to activate Teferi. We have a moment to activate these Planeswalkers, whereas when I was heavy on the Dweller build, I never thought I would trim this far on Dwellers. I actually was playing this deck for a while without any Dwellers just to see if the deck could function without Dark Dwellers and just function off of the Spell Quellers. And the Spell Quellers, of course, are vulnerable to the occasional Bolt, right? And so, you know, there are reasons why I still like having a split of some Darks. And Dark Dwellers, of course, is a red card for Fury. Our red count's not so bad. I added a bunch of Giants just to give us more interaction. We can, like, squish Ragavans and other important early game threats. I can't kill Asmo with Bone Crusher, unfortunately, but that's what Fury's for. Fury cleans up anything that Bone Crusher can't kill. So we just got a lot more early game burn in this deck. I've really been liking that. I think this deck, even though it's going off a little bit more slowly than like the Chancellor builds or the Wave Sifter builds, those are usually one and the same. I think this deck is just more robust. Oops, I didn't see our cue pop. Sorry about that, folks. That's okay. It gives me a moment to finish the deck tech. I'm trying out a lot of different experimental Karn targets. I do think the sideboard should be some number of like, even just like mystic disruptions. But I'm playing Portable Hull as just a way to grab Chalice. I actually wasn't able to, in my testing, I'm not able to remove Chalice on 0 easily with Engineered Explosives because my mana base isn't playing Gemstone Caverns. And because I'm not playing Gemstone Caverns, I can't actually play Explosives on 0 very easily in this. Or, no, sorry, that's not what I'm thinking. Yes, I can use Explosives to blow up Chalice on 0. It's just... or no, I can't because I have to get it around the Chalice, yeah. If I can play it preemptively, which it usually isn't the case, right? Usually we've got to use the Karn activations to go get this piece. So the Portable Hull is just a nod to that. It removes other important things. Portable Hull will get rid of, well, I won't be able to, so the thing about Void Mirror, or no, I could play out Karn and then go get this and then put this on the Void Mirror, or like I actually added this card because of cards like Void Mirror, but mostly Chalice. A lot of decks are just playing Chalice because there's enough Cascade decks. So hopefully that makes sense. We're still waiting for an opponent. All right, so let me just show you guys how the deck works because it's definitely the kind of thing that you just need. You have to see it, quite frankly, to understand. But yes, a lot of our Karn board is actually an extension of the combo itself. This hand's actually not as bad as it looks. Yes, it has a Glimpse in the hand, but it's got plenty of red to pitch to this Fury. It's got 2 lands, and it's got a Cascader. I actually think I would keep this. I'm less wary about having a Glimpse in my hand thanks to the Karn board. The Karn board can really smooth out when I draw Glimpse. So we're actually going to go ahead and keep this hand. We're also on the draw, so let's go ahead and say good luck and have fun to our opponent. So this is Titan. Titan can be rough and tough, and I kind of need to win the die roll to win this matchup game 1. But not impossible. I mean, like, maybe we get to Fury, the Dryad. They've got a Growth Chamber. That's fantastic. Okay, so we're kind of thankful it was an Explorer instead of Dryad. I mean, if they play any creature, we Fury it. We do need a blue or white source. Ardent Plea, of course, is the hardest to cast Cascade in our deck because all the other Cascaders are hybrid green. So both Agent and Outburst play nicely with the garden, the playset of gardens, but the Gardens are also important whilst you're going off. Oh wow, they have enough to play. Oh wow, another Explore, huh? They're just kind of going off over there. Third Explore they've played. I'm just blown away. Do you guys see what's happening here? My opponent's storm count is pretty reasonable. And they have Dryad. So we'll Fury that. They play a Saga. Alright. That's their turn too. Okay, cool. So we drew what we needed to draw. Fantastic. So we'll play this out and we will Fury. I actually prefer keeping the Glimpse in my deck now that we've added Stone. I used to, this would be very quickly what I used to Fury away, but now that I've added Stone, I think it's actually correct for me to pitch Omnath here. Plenty more Omnath where that came from. We'll kill this. And we're ready to go off next turn. We could spend a turn quelling instead of just straight up going for it. That just depends on what it looks like my opponent's got cooking over there. I mean, they already have almost enough to... I think we may have to just hope for the nuts and just go ahead and Ardent Plea. 4 permanents is not a lot of permanents to go off with. You know, they're not going to kill our plant token. Yeah, like 4 permanents is like the bare minimum. We just hope to not hit poorly. Harvest, sure. So they grabbed a prime time with their Harvest. There have been a lot of folks talking about Harvest in Titan. It lets you hit the gas spells. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 because of their Karoo land in their hand, the Simic. So they are kind of going off next turn. So I do think I have to just go for it. It's too bad that this isn't the instant speed, because I just drew a Fury and I do have a second red spell for it. But we kind of just need to go for it. There's no reason to go for the Evoke because since it's a sorcery speed. So I think we just go for it and we just hope for the best. I could sit here on the Queller, but the Queller is going to be very ineffective against Titan. We could play out Provisioner is the other thing I could do here. Play out Provisioner and just hope that they don't kill us. But they have Amulet and they have a Titan in their hand. So I think we just go for it, spin the wheel. Maybe we hit an Omnath 2 lands. That's really the best I can hope for. Okay, Titania is not too bad. Titania lets me keep going, right? Or I punted. Oh no, I didn't. We needed to have a fetch land in the bin for the Titania to get us to 3rd mana. So actually we didn't punt there. Because I was thinking, oh, like with that trigger on the stack, I'll quell my own plea and then we'll Fury our own Queller to get the Ardent Plea out from under it. But then even then I would have only had... I mean, we do have an Elemental here. We're not completely dead to the Titan. And I can kill this Construct here with my Fury. So I think it's just kill the Construct. Yeah, I think what we want to do is just kill the Construct. You're going to want to take that second link, by the way, Darth Combo. I think we just kill the Construct with our Fury. And I'm not even going to fetch because we do want 3rd land. I mean, we will fetch, obviously, because we want to make the Titania target, or the Titania Elemental. But we'll pass it back. That was, in fairness, that was a very, like, low permanent glimpse. But there wasn't much we could do, right? We just, against Titan, we know they have a Titan in their hand. We already knew that they had the Simic Growth Chamber Karoo land, so they already have enough mana to do the Titan thing. Or maybe not. Maybe I wasn't predicting that. Yeah, they just go get second Amulet. They have plenty of mana here. Man, I wish I could quell that. Gosh. Just do not have enough mana. Yeah, it's been interesting, Darth. It's been interesting. It's a very different take on the Glimpse build. Plenty of mana for our opponent. The problem is since we weren't able to snag our Ardent Plea mid-combo, like, I have to draw third land, but I also need to draw, like, another fetch and, like, have a Cascade in my hand that I don't have. So I think we did the best we could with our draw. And I'm sure you're sitting there, well, Bruce Spy, your Titan opponent. Well, we did interact, though, right? We killed a Dryad earlier. It looks like they're just trying to work towards this Valakut. Why not? They have another Dryad in play. Battlements to give Titan haste, and then they'll go get 2 more lands, thus turning on the Valakut, so we can pretty surely scoop it up. So real quick, just to divide the sideboard up so you guys see how this works out. So we've got a lot of these pieces, about 7 pieces worth of this are involved in the combo itself. You could even add Ballista to that pile. But of course, we just got some strong cards with Karn, of course, like Liquid Metal Coating. Grid is a concession to the fact that we're a little vulnerable to counter magic. Let's see. Yeah. Stone, Bauble, Bomb, Zern Orb, Hammer, Agent, Ballista. It's about this 6 or 7 as far as my testing. And then figuring out the rest of the sideboard, like, as I figure out which of these pieces I actually need. This is normal to how I work on Karn decks. As I figure out which of these we don't use very much, or not enough to merit, like one of the cards that's glaring at me is maybe like even Bridge, right? Because, well, no, Bridge we'll probably use, but like the Needle and the Damping Matrix, maybe these could be copies of. The 2-lander, that's not great. It's got a Fury, sure. No Cascader though. Well, technically the Karn would lead us to a Cascader, but oh, this hand's interesting. If only it had, this hand also doesn't have a Cascader. It's also just a 2-lander. That's disappointing. Kind of at the mercy of our mulligans this game. That's okay. Titan's tough, and Titan is quick enough to race us. That is one of the weaknesses, right? One of the things I've given up for the deck. Without Sifters, without Chancellors, you know, Spyro, all those things. I'm gonna mulligan one more time. This hand looks good to me, so we'll put back Glimpse and probably also Karn. I'd rather keep the 3 lands and the 2 Cascades. We'll put those back. Done. We need a green source, so I'm not sure if I should just Foundry turn 1 or if I should just go, like, Mesa, go get green source. Probably just Mesa, go get green source. So the reason that we're so heavy on fetches, if you're wondering, folks, this is probably the most fetches I've run in this archetype. It's not so much Omnath. It actually has to do with Titania. Because really, a very powerful Glimpse is just you wheel into Titania and some number of fetch lands. You end up with, you know, a 15 or more power team. Turn 1 Saga. All right. So there's our green source. Drew an Agent, that's good. Good to see. So we're going to play this Shockland out, and then I'm going to Tarn. And now, you may be asking the question, okay, Bruce Spire, are you just going to go for it? Probably not. If it looks like we have a moment, which you really never do with double Amulet draw, that's what my opponent has at least, because they have Saga. So next turn, they have a second Amulet that's hitting the table. So I don't know if we really have time to... I mean, I really don't want to Glimpse with just 3 permanents, though. We may just have to spin the wheel and hope for the best. Our best would be Omnath 2 lands to wheel into, but... They had no explore. I mean, yeah, when Amulet has Amulet or double... I mean, technically they have double Amulet here because of their Saga. Like, double Amulet from them, I mean, there's a very real chance that we're just dead or nearly dead this coming turn. Play out a Valakut, yep. I don't know if I have a turn to just play out the Shardless Agent and not Glimpse. Like, it could be... Sorry, it's not just wheeling into Omnath. We could also wheel into a Provisioner, which would be good. If we wheel into Teferi, I can... Bouncing Amulet doesn't do anything. Speaking of Provisioner now, I can't wheel into that as easily. They have 3 cards in their hand. Yeah, I mean, we can just pray that there's no Titan over there, right? Or way to Titan. Way to get to Titan. So I really can't justify glimpsing with only 3 permanents. I think it's go get Island and play out the Provisioner. But I was actually considering just playing out Agent and maybe choosing not to Cascade. That's our 4th permanent. Fetch land is still our best draw. If we get another turn, that is. I have a sneaky suspicion we're pretty... Like, the best thing they could do here is, for us, would be that they make Construct here. Them making Construct means that there's maybe not an avenue to the Titan yet. I don't know, with my luck, they tend to always have it. Oh wow, they didn't make mana. They didn't float their free colorless mana. That's strange. Looks like it didn't matter though. So they have 2 cards left. What do you got? Okay. Pact. I'm with you. One good thing I can say is on turn 3, they're not getting this Valakut Dryad fully developed. It's really the only positive. Yeah, their draw is pretty bonkers. 2 amulets naturally, 1 off of a Saga, an Explore, a Dryad, a Summoner's Pact. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, we'll have to just go for it next turn. Our best draw is land. Either a fetch would be good. And we got 24 lands. There's quite a few still left in the deck. I'd also take a Fury, I suppose. Fury, because we could combo it with the Outbursts. We do have the correct colors for either Agent or Violent Outburst. So I could see, if we get another turn, that is. I mean, opponent's got a whole bunch going on over there. But, yeah, if we get another turn, I could see... Ooh, they're going to haste their Dryad too, probably, right? Oh, actually, they are going to get enough for the Valakut to be turned on. Never mind. We're pretty screwed. I don't know why I was sitting here thinking they wouldn't. They only need 6 lands. Yeah, I mean, when Titan's doing its thing, it's pretty bonkers. Valakut, Vesuva the Valakut. Get lots of triggers. I am curious what my next draw was. Wasn't a land. I do wonder though, like we can sit there and be like, oh, like, you know, oh, we have a bad amulet match. Do we? I'm pretty sure I'd lose to this draw with most decks that I've been working on. Like not even like my my glimpse nonsense. Like both of those games, the draw from that opponent, unless I was playing something heavily disruptive, like we're talking, you know, we're talking Thoughtseize, right? We're talking straight up counterspell. Unless I was playing that kind of level of disruption, I haven't been building a lot of counterspell or Thoughtseize decks. We'll leave this up actually. I was gonna have us look at the deck, but I wonder. I wonder. So this is my opponent's turn 3. Like, a lot of folks are saying weird decks, like not weird, but just weird to me how well they're performing, and I think a lot of it has to do with Urza Saga. I'm talking about like Hammer Time, you know, how good decks like that are. I mean, maybe Blue-Red Murktide with a counterspell draw could have beaten this. Maybe some of the various Thoughtseize decks in the format could have beaten this, but it's like, I don't know. We just played a few lands and died. Not going to worry about it. All right, say, hey, good luck and have fun to our opponent. This hand's all right. It sucks that we're on the draw. I'll keep it, though. Ah, Burn. Okay, Burn's an interesting matchup for us. Certainly it's a race. Certainly wish we had been on the play. Probably just play Steam Vents tapped, right? I could also see myself getting Triome, and since we have Vents, we'd probably spend either Mesa or Strand. Just go Mesa. What's cool is, well, that depends on how fast their draw is. Eidolon sucks for us for many reasons. One, because like when we loop, we want to loop multiple times. So Eidolon is pretty brutal for us, as you can see. I almost need to find Fury now. Just because Eidolon gets a lot of extra triggers on us, just because like the Cascader and the Cascade, you know, the Cascader and the Glimpse both trigger this thing. Like I can gain a lot of life with Omnath. Okay, Garden's a good draw. If they have Searing Blaze, that sucks, but I mean, we have Provisioners. We could make some food token. I don't know. Another Rift Bolt, huh? So, there's a universe where we do just go for it now and just hope for like Omnath and some number of lands. We're at 13. Drift Karn. If I waited, what would waiting look like? I mean, would it be like play out Provisioners, say go, they attack us for another... It'd be 4 because of Rift Bolt. I mean, I feel like they just kill the Provisioner, but that gives me another turn. We have another guaranteed land drop, and it's just a fetch. It's not a shock, right? So I could see us just playing out Provisioner. So go down to 10. I don't know. This is looking like it's not. Like we needed Stomp, we needed Fury. We have 8 copies. Or we have 4 Fury, 4 Bone Crusher. Like Eidolon is in the category of game 1 creatures that I just really need to kill. You could argue that Stoneforge is something else that I want to be able to kill game 1. This Blaze my provisioner. Yeah, that's game. Okay. Yeah, like the combination. Oh, there's a Fury. Too late. The combination of Eidolon and just and again, not to sound like a broken record, but like if we're winning die rolls, I think that will help us tremendously in this league. If we can start winning some die rolls, that would be good. It would be good. We'd appreciate it. We would like it. We would tremendously enjoy winning a die roll. I will say it is kind of fun not to really... I mean, I'm sure there's like theoretical sideboarding that could happen, but like anything that I bring into the deck that's not CMC 3 or above, like the Ballista, or like pretty much a large section of our sideboard, right? Everything except for these 4 cards. So the Ballista, the Orb, the Spellbomb, the Bauble, the Crypt, the Portable Hull, the Stone, or like all this stuff. When we do bring it in, it can disrupt our own combo, so we need to be aware of that. Sand does have a Fury, but it has no land drops. This hand has a Crusher and a Garden. Probably want to keep this. Karn, I'd rather just... Well, we could have kept Karn over this many lands, though, but I do want to... and I was supposed to keep the Karn. That was my bad. Sometimes I'm thinking about, okay, but he'd be so much better to wheel into. But I did need to keep Karn there because he was essentially the Cascader, so that was a big whoops. So hopefully the deck is kind to us. I mean, I don't even know if I can spend the Giant on the Goblin Guide because Eidolon's just that bad. I guess we just have to hope to fade. So I can't just sit here taking 2 forever from this Goblin Guide. There's a Fury. Yeah, this is a little bit too much land. One of these lands, probably a fetch land. One of these fetches, like maybe Tarn or the Foothills, because we already had green, we already had blue. One of these should have been the Karn. I mean, Karn can also... Okay, if they had Eidolon, they would have played it right then and there. Instead of Bone Crushing, though, I think I just want to Fury these 2 threats away. Next card coming up is an Omnath. Awesome. So we'll work towards that. I'll just take this, and we'll Fury away both threats. I'll keep the Omnath instead of the Bone Crusher. Looks like we might have a little more breathing room this game. So we're going to go get our Triome, and then we're going to play Island, play Omnath. Guide. Hey, what's up, Big Ben? Another land, huh? Charm me now. Okay. Very possibly we're dead. Going down to 5. Triome. Nice that we don't take damage on this island to play out the Omnath. Another land. This looks like this just was not our game. Our match. Like I said a moment ago, oh wow, another land. I mean, I know we're seeing as many lands as we are because, like, in theory, because my opponent had a double Goblin Guide draw. Is this just burn spell me? Looks like it. Man, But yeah, we should have kept the Karn. Oh, wow, another land? Phew. All right. Like, that's just... I don't know what you want me to do. That's just how that cookie crumbles. We had an excellent draw from our amulet player. I really do think that was the difference. Well, of course, I made a mistake on my mulligans game 2 against my burn opponent. I was supposed to keep the Karn over the extra land. That's just a brain fart moment. But even still, like, that's just a tremendous amount of land. That's unfortunate. Yeah, game 1. I mean, the whole match against Burn. Let's win the die roll, right? Let's do that. Let's win some more die rolls. And yeah, I mean, if they're gonna have Eidolon, we need to be able to kill it. I've kind of maxed out on ways to interact with it as far as a Glimpse build is concerned. Most Glimpse decks don't have things like Bone Crush or I'm playing Bone Crush instead of Brazen Borrower because of the red count. Our red count's actually quite healthy for a Karn build. You'd probably be thinking to yourself, a Bruce Spy, your red count, no, it hasn't actually suffered that much. We're still about at 20, or we are at 20. So the red count's actually still pretty healthy for playing Furies. This is a mulligan. We could keep this one. It's lacking the white for... well, I'd probably put Teferi back before I would put the Plea back. Although we already have a lot of Cascaders in hand. Maybe because I don't know what my opponent's on. They mulled to 5, though. I'm going to keep here, and I'm actually going to put back Plea, I think, instead of the Teferi. They mulligan to 4. I don't know, what are they playing? Belcher? Dredge could mull to 4 and still win. Could be Dredge. That's my guess, that it's Dredge. Nope, it's the mirror match. I'm kidding. There are other Colony Garden decks. Could be Yogg combo. Could be the mirror. Considering that they mull to 4, like, Fury could be pretty brutal even just to take out a plant. We'll know with this next land what they're on. So they look like Yogg combo to me, Yawgmoth combo. Yep. Yep, Geist. I mean, I kind of like having Bone Crusher open. Like, we're gonna take the damage from the Strangleroot Geist either way. Why not just stomp? Gonna need 3rd land though. Gonna need another land deck. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking... It doesn't matter yet. I'm thinking we do stomp the Geist, and then we clean up with Fury. We also could have just stomped the Hierarch. What's up, Shadowless? I'm back from vacation. I am back, indeed. They got 2 cards left. I feel a little bad. Gilded Goose, okay. Yeah, maybe I just ignore the Strangleroot Geist. Honestly, maybe I just kill Goose Hierarch into the plant. If we draw a land, I might go for it, by the way. Fury using the Bone Crusher. Okay, so we didn't draw. Well, now I kind of just keep the Bone Crusher, don't I? And just, like, Fury their board. Sweet. Fury's great. Card is great. We really need a land, though. And I do think that 24 is the sweet spot for this deck. I can't imagine I'm changing that. So, 1, 1, 2. Cool. I'll consider stomping their Geist this coming turn. But maybe I won't. Okay, it looks like I might be. They probably have tutors in hand if they're not playing out stuff. Wow, okay. Well, we had a lot of interaction, right? A Fury, a couple of Bone Crushers. A couple of Bone Crushers and a Fury, but no third land, so we may be losing here. Sure. Come on, land. Okay, so we could Quell. I think I'd rather Quell than just play out a Bone Crusher. Oh no, we can't Quell. What am I doing? Stop, 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 stop. I don't think we can actually Quell. Oh no, I added the Sacred Foundry back in. We can. Sorry, I was sitting here thinking we cut the white source that the Foothills can fetch to. I think I did finally... mana bases are indeed a weakness for my brewing skills, but I do think that I brewed into the... Oh, you know what? My stream title's wrong, isn't it? I knew there was something. I did a good job today, like, posting to, you know, social media and stuff. I think I didn't change my stream title, though. Yep, I didn't. Alright, glimpse combo. Full Karn board. Sweet. So, I mean, this is just very suspicious. If I grab the Foundry, I might have something. I still kind of prefer quelling than I do. I mean, like, there's also play out to Fairy. There's other things I could do. I think just holding Spell Queller is better. Granted, when I do go to combo off, perhaps next turn, they do get their card back. So it's just tempo. Could, like, flash in the Queller there and block the Wolf, but I'm not interested. Eldritch. Okay. Oh, wow, land. I think we should just go for it, folks. Hitting land here makes me feel pretty confident. Although it's tempting to just play out the Teferi and then they won't get the Eldritch back. And maybe we're fine. Maybe I just play out Teferi. We're going to take our time. The white, Teferi, plus the Teferi. See, didn't even... I mean, granted, that was a mold of 4 for a deck that does care about that. We do have this Damping Matrix, which is great. I think we want to leave that as a Karn target, though. I mean, I think just the way that the deck's set up, I just probably don't sideboard. Fury and Bone Crusher are flexible in enough that they do hit Planeswalkers. They don't just hit... I mean, everything in the deck is pretty much a combo piece, except for some of the stuff in the Karn board, right? When we think about it, when we break it down. All right, these are all pieces. Sorry, these are pieces. I mean, that's how I've been testing it so far. I haven't really been doing any true sideboarding. So these 7 are part of the combo, right? The Orb, the Spell Bomb, the Ballista, the Bauble, the Brainstone, the Hammer. These are all part of the Wombo. And then these other pieces, these are more matchup specific. We were just talking about red count briefly. Right, this hand looks pretty good. I mean, it sucks that there's a glimpse in the opener, but it's fodder for Fury. We'll keep this. Draw's looking good. Three lands this time where we couldn't get there before. Or it took us a while too, but we won anyway. But I think it mostly had to do with their mull to 4. This is Giralf's. Sweet. So I could clear the table here. Yes, I know that Messenger undies and is bigger, so the sequence would have to be Bone Crush this away and then Fury the board. Is that what I want to do? So since I got basic mount, I'm not Teferiing so easily because we have mountain. I mean, if we have forest. Just something to think about. This, them going Messengers, their next play might suggest that they have Eldritch. They do have the playset of Eldritch Evolution. So, I mean, I kind of... Against these kinds of decks, when they're on the play, I do just like cleaning up their table, even though, you know, it's a little resource intensive for us to do so. This draw of mine needed to see a Cascader anyway. I mean, I kind of kept it on the back of the interaction that it had. And we just have to, we'll have to draw to the Cascade. So 1, 2, 3, and 1. Cool. Next turn, it looks like for us, it's play Provisioner. Grist. Okay. I may not want to play out the Provisioner until we can go Provisioner into fetch land immediately, because Grist will just kill the Provisioner, perhaps. Okay, well, we play Island instead. That gets us towards the Teferi. So I think we're going to hold for that reason, just because they have onboard removal. Oh, actually, I was supposed to play out the Bone Crusher there. Whoops. Yeah, I think playing Bone Crusher there was absolutely correct. This Grist is helping them work towards their Quarter Calling, if they have one. One court is down. They milled it over with Grist. Yeah, definitely wanted to play out my Bone Crusher. I didn't think to do it. That was my bad. Like, I could play Teferi potentially if they don't have an instant speed removal for this. Like, if they don't have Cracked Peatland play Fatal Push. They don't tend to play a lot of copies of Fatal Push, and I don't think they would have brought it in. Do nothing. If there's an Outburst, that's probably better. I don't really like lollygagging on this Teferi. I really wish I'd played my Bone Crusher. But anyway, Arid Mesa, we got a Provisioner Treasure. Sweet. Activate this. Doesn't really matter. Even if I get Plains, it's fine. Because I have 2 treasures here. I think we just go for it, right? I mean, we could wait. I don't really see the reason not to go for it. We're going to have 6 permanents, right? 6 permanents is pretty healthy for a glimpse. Just go for it. But I really should have had 7 permanents there because of Bone Crusher. Here we go. So remember, one of our glimpses is down because we exiled it to a Fury earlier in the game. So we have 1 left. So while this wasn't a very exciting hit for us, like, I still have play Teferi, put the agent back into my hand is actually exactly what we should do, because if they do kill this agent, I can't try to go off again next turn. So let's Teferi, put the agent back in hand so they can't grist it. Yes, I want to tuck that. Cool, I've drawn into a Karn, that's nice to see. Obviously, we'd rather glimpse into the Karns, but we don't mind drawing Karns. Once we get going, we really can produce a lot of mana. We've got Omnaths, we've got multiple tireless provisioners. Wow, they didn't have like an end step chord. It's really peculiar. Eldritch, okay. Strangle Root. Is this, I want to go after your Teferi? I'd probably block for him. It's a permanent either way. I'm surprised they didn't attack with their insect. That was a freebie. Ah, okay. I should have let it go. That's fine. Okay, so we have another land drop. I could play out a Bone Crusher. Do we think the mana floating is better than a permanent, though? Probably not. I'm probably better off with floating the mana than having 1 extra permanent. Like, sometimes the extra permanent is more relevant, but other times I'd rather just have the mana floating. And we'll leave a flexible color palette open. Also because I have Karn in hand. Alright, so should I shock? So we've got a Teferi, we've got a Karn activation, got a Titania with some fetches. Perfect. Good. All good things. Yes, I'll pay. So the Spell Queller is going to grab the agent. You actually don't get a choice there. I have to grab the card, and then let's go get the Scalding Tarn. So if I had a green fetch in my graveyard, I might have grabbed that instead. So now we have to kind of maneuver to... So there's... All the glimpses are used up, right? But we could go get... We could get our way to another... Watch this. So I'm going to Karn, and I'm actually going to put a glimpse that's in my graveyard back into my deck. And we've already got a Cascader underneath our Spell Queller. So what I can do is, yes. I know, this deck's wonderful and convoluted, and I don't know. I mean, I'm sure some of you guys, after you watch me do a few streams of this, maybe you could pilot this too. This nonsense that I've been cooking up in my mind. Yes, we'll make an Elemental. Fantastic. It's a Fairy's going to bounce my own Queller. That's the plan. Let's go get Island to get some blue mana on. Let's use this white mana to cast this Bauble. Bauble is going to put Glimpse of Tomorrow back into my library on the bottom. And we are going to Teferi my own Queller. We're ready to go off. Let's do it. Now, in fairness, we could just go get Zurin Orb right now. But my opponent's deck, I'd rather just try to go for the kill. But I could make a few more 5/3 elementals, and that could be good enough. Okay, we drew the other Titania. All right, here we go. Now, you might be sitting there, okay, surely this is the last time you're glimpsing, right? This is the 3rd glimpse, even though you shuffled it back into your deck. Like, this, you're done, right, Bruce Spy? There's no way you can keep going. Well, that's sort of true. Oh, cool, we get to kill their Planeswalker here. And half of the Strangle Root. Do I want to do that? I think so. Yeah. We win the match. So, here I probably make some more mana. Provisioner makes me a bunch of mana. A lot of mana, actually. This tireless makes us a lot of mana. And then I would probably, hang on, let's talk about it briefly. So if you're sitting there like, wow, this is a really, really cool thing you're doing, Brew Spy. I know, we've been working on this for a while in secret. Today is the first day I'm kind of sharing it with the public at large. But all Brew Spy ideas, like I had a lot of help from my stream in the weeks and weeks streaming this archetype leading up to today, the unveiling of a Karn Titania build of this archetype. I do think that this build of the deck is actually maybe the most robust that I've worked on or seen. No offense to the Chancellor builds, that's all well and good. Or Wave Sifter builds, that's fine if that's what you want to do, but I think this deck is just... oh wait, no, I don't want to concede. I want to... Okay, go back to... Here we go. So did we lose to Burn? Yes. Did I lose to a solid draw for my Titan opponent? Yeah. I don't think that we should give up on the archetype just because I lost to some really nice draws from decks that should beat us, right? Yeah, exactly, Shadowless. But, Shadowless, you haven't been with me on this one. Just embrace it. Just observe. Just watch. The Quellers are actually really important. I actually don't know if I want to be playing Dark Dwellers anymore, because the cool thing about... I know you've been working on this archetype too, friend, but just hear me out. I know you've been here in the chat and you've had lots of card suggestions and all. Been working on this one in private, but I feel confident to share it today. I think the things that I'm most interested, if there were anything to be changed, I'd actually cut the first Dwellers and turn it into the third Queller. So the Quellers grab the Cascade pieces as we're going off, and it's not that difficult for me to return them or pop them as I'm going off. You can pop them with Furies, or you can, I can put these back into my hand with Teferi, or I actually have Karn targets themselves. Karn can either blow them up, that's not how I want to do that. You can either kill them with Ballista, you can blow them up with explosives, or the best thing, which is you use the Aether Spell Bomb to bounce them back. So I have a few different ways to make the Quellers work in the deck, and the Quellers actually stop the combo. So we actually do get to activate our Teferis, we actually do get to activate our Karns, and I think that was the biggest struggle with the deck, is when we were so sure that it was Dweller and nothing else. Yes, right? Spell Queller is weaker in a sense, but stronger in other senses. We're actually a lot more interactive now with these. I was getting run over by some of the Ragavan decks and such, and so one of the reasons why you see the change, Shadowless, it's not necessarily what's stronger for the deck. These are some metagame choices that I've made over the last month or so of playing this deck over and over again, or working on this deck over and over again, and I came to the conclusion that I just wanted the deck to have a powerful finish that's just powerful magic in general. I do think that Karn is a strong engine. I do think that Titania is a strong engine in this deck, especially since I've moved the deck into playing this many fetches. Well, yeah, if you counter their stuff, they get it back, potentially, if we don't wheel into another Teferi. This is very true. And I think that's just like, there's a lot that I have to learn and work on as far as like, I'm still learning and working on how to stack things properly. This hand's nuts. This is a really good hand. I think you play so we really shouldn't, by the way, quickly compare Dwellers to Quellers, because Goblin Dark Dwellers just doesn't get cast in a game of, unless we're comboing off. So let me just time out here, Shadowless. Let's talk briefly. Dwellers is useful in the deck as a red card to pitch for Fury. As far as how fast Modern is, you really don't hardcast them. And I know you could make the same argument. You could be, okay, Bruce Spy, if that's your argument, are you ever hardcasting the Titanias? Yeah, I mean, I have the same issue with these cards as I do as the hardcast Omnath, as I do the hardcast Karn, right? Like, all of the top end of this deck are we casting. So if I can remove some of the top end that this deck had and find a suitable, like Queller, yes, it takes a little bit more work for it to do what the Dark Dwellers was doing for our deck, but I can actually cast it. I can actually play it out in a normal game of Modern before the game is over, right? And so, in theory, just watch, enjoy. They didn't play out a threat, so I might still want to go Scalding Tarn. Just in case we do get something to crush. Like, I'm with you. I want you to come with me on this journey and just see how the deck works before necessarily, you know, writing it off. I mean, in fairness, I don't think you're writing it off. Ah, the Sentinel. Can I wait a turn to kill the Sentinel? I think so. They play out plating. We'll wait till next turn. I might even shock to, yeah. I think we'll shock. And we'll pay the tax. No extra card for you. Right. I mean, were you doing some of the same stuff that I was? I guess that's my next question. I know that you, at one point, we were talking about some sort of weird, like, angel build or something with Quellers. Have you used a Karn board? Because the Quellers do play really nicely with using Karn because they do stop the combo, right? Whereas if we're using, speaking of which, I might just play out a Karn here and go get another Cascader, or we could also just play Omnath, but I don't already have the fetch. I think I just play Karn. Karn seems just great in general in this matchup because it turns off, like, how many of my opponent's cards here? Karn does just seem like a pretty strong play just in general. They do have the counterspell for it, maybe. It looks like they're just on a build of Affinity. Tanglepool Bridge? Okay. So that kind of gives away maybe what colors they're focused on. I mean, my question still stands, though. Have you... Opponent says I do not like that card. Have you worked on a Karn build? Because I've been really liking it. So what do I have for this matchup? I mean, I don't even think I'm necessarily worried about my Glimpse plan. Like, I think we're just winning this maybe off of our Karns. So how do we do that? Ballista. Needle on plate. Well, it can't be activated. Who cares? You grab the bridge. I don't think we need it. I think I just go get Agent. Just get another Cascader, right? I mean, do we think they have counter magic? They would have countered the Karn, so we don't need grid. Dampen Matrix is strong. Activated abilities of artifacts and creatures can be pretty good against their deck. Like, we just have like a lot of generally strong cards, but I might just want another Cascader. You tried it once, didn't work so well. Yeah, I do think that I'm gonna trim on some of my targets for sure. Like, I don't think I need this many targets. Let's go get Ancient. I do think I like this 7. So far, this 7, just because of Queller, right? Like, I've liked... well, Ballista doesn't have so much to do with Queller. It's Hammer, Agent, Orb. Yeah. Shardless, Hammer... These are the ones that, like, I kind of stand by. Like, the other stuff, like... I mean, Explosives is an easy inclusion. Crypt is an easy inclusion. Needle. Like, maybe not Defense Grid. Hole is actually here to stop both my opponent's Chalices on 0, and this also hits Voidmere. So I do like this piece. Or, like, you know, you can hit, like, I don't know, Ethersworn Canonist or all sorts of stuff. So we'll pass the turn to our opponent. We'll, in theory, get one more activation with Karn before we start going off, I think. If I draw a fetch land, maybe I will play out the Omnath. But I don't think... If I don't know for sure we have the extra mana... like, it's cool we get to get free wins against some of these artifact decks thanks to being a Karn build. So let's go get another something. Maybe I just go get Hammer. Because usually, like, when we're going for the kill turns, this is actually the most important piece other than just the extra Cascader. Other pieces that are important as we're going off, Bauble lets me reuse my glimpses. This is the put it back on, shuffle it. If I had a glimpse in my hand, I would actually consider the Brainstone, but let's just grab Hammer and, yeah, try to go off. I think that's what we're doing. It's what you're here to do. 6 permanents is pretty healthy. We're going to have 1 green floating. 1 red floating. Actually, I'll make it so that it's a red. We need a lot of red. Hammer's 2 red on its own. I already have, like, Outburst. Let's go for it. So here's Glimpse number 1. See if we get a complicated pile here. See if it's like a Spellcrawler pile. It is not a Spellcrawler pile. This is a pretty straightforward pile. Okay, so nothing to Fury. Titania is going to pick up that Scalding Tarn. Very thankful that we saw at least 1 fetch. If I don't see any fetches, of course, she's quite a bit weaker. Maybe before this Omnath draw goes off, we should do both of our fetches. I think we should do both of our fetches before the Omnath draw card goes off. Oh yeah, Shadows? Yeah, let me know how that works out for you. I haven't seen you pop your head in the Discord, and I'm really surprised because you and I have had some really nice conversations about Glimpse. You kind of broke my heart. I'm just kidding. Actually, I don't have to float those yet. Well, I mean, we're gonna keep going, so it's pretty irrelevant. There's the Dark Dwellers. Hate to draw them. Would much rather. But okay, so let's see. What am I doing here? I think I'm just outbursting. Oh, no. I could still just agent again. But, like, I was considering violent outbursting because it might be time... we might be at the point of lethal because I already have the hammer in hand. Okay, wow. Titania with a bunch of fetches. We absolutely win. Sweet. Easy game. Easy. Scalding Tarn. Easy game. Easy. Do you guys like this? Now you guys get to see how sweet Titania is. I don't even need a Zurin Orb. Is like, and like this is the thing. This is what I wanted you guys to see, and I'm sure somebody in chat is like, the light bulb is on. They're like, wait a minute. All you're trying to do, Bruce Spy, is wheel into a bunch of fetches in a Titania? You know, plus or minus a Karn. And the answer is yes. This right here is all I'm really trying to do. I'm not trying to do anything super convoluted. I mean, yes, it's convoluted, but it's awesome, right? Get this back. Okay, I'll get 1 shock. We can't get all the basics ever, right? We'll get a shock. You're capped. You've been trying to figure out some ones to leave. Yeah, well, you should leave one so you can come hang with us. Alright, so they're very dead here, right? I mean, I could go over the top and you guys, like, see, like, the unnecessary. You guys want to see the unnecessary? I want to see the unnecessary. I'm gonna go get a Zurin Orb. We're wasting precious seconds just for the win more. For the win more. Hammer of Porphyros. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We technically do have a couple more glimpses to do. There's 1 more glimpse in the deck, and then I do have the Dark Dwellers, so we could, like, keep looping. There's no point. Like, they're dead here. Hey-ya. All right. Yeah, I forgot that Discord has a cap. I don't have that many Discord channels that I'm part of, and I can't imagine myself. You're a different person, of course, Shadowless, but I'm only speaking for myself. I can't imagine that I could possibly be active on 100 channels. Personally. Are you sure you're not just like collecting them like Pokemon? Like, you know, gotta catch them all? Oh, sweet. We don't have to worry about sideboarding. Guys, we're naturally ready for the Affinity matchup. Who knew? Who knew? I had some weird nonsense in my sideboard, too. I mean, I was playing a Batterskull. I cut it, but I was also playing, like, Cataclysm or whatever. The Golem. Speaking of which, can we really keep this against Affinity? It's got a glimpse in the opener that's not great. It's only a 2-lander. This is probably a mulligan. So this has a Cascader. We could put the Titania back into the deck. I think I'd rather do that than keep her. I think I'd rather put her back in. Yeah, I was playing a random, like, Gear Hulk Larry. Thank you. Which I think wasn't great. This looks like a more reasonable Affinity draw, what we're seeing from them this time. Fury, so we could kill... try to kill the Sentinel, but they Welding Jar. I think we wait, maybe. Like, sure, I could Fury here, but they... I'm trying to see if I can get them off the Glimmer Void. There's no way. I mean, we go for Fury now. They Welding Jar their Sentinel. And then on the next turn, if they don't play another artifact, it's possible for me to stomp. But, like, they'll have played out another artifact by then, right? No, I mean, I'm thinking, I'm with you. Like, I think we could be that aggressive of, like, Fury, pitch a Bone Crusher, like, play land, fetch, like, basic mountain. Kataki's just better. Yeah, that's true, Shadows. Maybe that's. Are you, like, trying to cascade to Kataki? When you said hate bears, that makes me think of, like, you're trying to cascade to Kataki or something. Oh, just cut the glimpses? Ah, interesting. That's cool. I might steal that technology if you don't mind. Also, you haven't shared a deck list, and I've been very open to share mine. I'd love to see. I don't know. I probably should fetch more greedily, right? Well, Violent Outburst wants a separate red and green source. It's probably, and, like, this one's a blue source. Not that I'm thinking about getting to Queller. This is where I kind of wish I had, like, Breeding Pool, right? So we could go, like, Steam Vents. Fury these away. They won't save the Thopter, they'll save the Sentinel, but we pay for the Sentinel. Oh wait, I'm mistaken. It's non-creature spell. I didn't need a shock. That's my bad, chat. I actually didn't need a shock there. Oops. Sentinel is non-creature spell. I don't know why I was thinking that I'd have to pay, like, a tax or something. That's so silly. I should have just played my fetch and said go. The classic Bruce by fetch shocks himself for no reason. Classic. Yeah, please do post it, Shadowless, so, you know, I'm sure I'm not the only one who's interested to see it. I'm sure the rest of my community is interested to see what's been working for you. So we could take them off the Glimmer Void. I do think that that's worth. This is where I wish I had Temple Garden. I'm not playing Garden right now. Ooh, the Singleton Flooded Strand doesn't have a green source to grab, does it? That's painful. If I grab Plains, I have all my colors that I can get. We usually have our green source, excuse me, naturally because we have a playset of Colony Gardens. I'm just killing us smalls this game, but maybe setting them back to Glimmer Void is going to be good enough. I don't know. I'm letting them draw a card here, though. Our draw needs to see third land regardless to function. They have a counterspell. They are cycling. Okay. So they're going to be okay. Like, we're killing their Sentinel, and they're going to lose their Glimmer Void because they don't control an artifact. But I think they're going to be all right. We got a game. We got a game here. Springleaf. Okay. Come on, land. Sweet. I think we just hold up Queller. We quell the next thing they do. After that, we follow up with Bone Crusher Giant. Now, this might be something that's bigger. Oh, wow. It looks like whatever is in their hand is bigger. So I think I'll just play out the Queller, actually. They have an affinity card in their hand, and it's big. Whatever it is. Like, this shock would have happened at some point, but the earlier shock that I did didn't need to happen. And that's just my bad. We'll play this out. If we draw 4th land, I might play Omnath. So we've drawn a Titania. Let's just play this out. Swing. So we should be at 14. So we'll see if that matters. I mean, it certainly does. They're playing Affinity. Oh, wow. Land do nothing? Fantastic. I could play out this agent instead of glimpsing. I mean, I think that 5 permanents is enough, though. And actually, since we have the potential to go off all the way, I'm actually not going to attack. Right? Well, do we think we're going to go off all the way? This might be an instance where I'd be okay just attacking. I mean, because I do have the ability to haste my team, like, a lot of the time it's not correct to attack, but I'm confident that this is going to be a good glimpse. I'm just not confident that this is a game-winning glimpse, so that's why I decided to attack, get in my 6 damage before doing this. But, yeah, sometimes, a reasonable amount of the time it's... Are we countering here? Okay. That's the other thing that their hand could be. If they're not playing out permanents, I would imagine their sideboard cards or things like Rebuke. That's fine. We get a 2-2. Sentinel. What's your last card? I'm assuming it's the flyer dude. Yep. Okay. So I could crush the Sentinel. I mean, it's first. Like, Sentinel only draws them an extra card on the first. If they have another Rebuke, they can Rebuke anyway. It's possible that if I Bone Crush their Sentinel, we see them spend the Rebuke. Montblanc says they can't Rebuke. Why not? Springleaf, Monitor. This has Improvise. Are you sure? This thing has Improvise on it. I see... Oh, okay, you're right. Never mind. Yeah, we should have just gone for it. I was thinking they could, but they can't quite, right? Because these, yeah, tap 2, also tap another. They'd be 1 shy. Alright. Well, I've kind of already locked us, though, into this just killing the Sentinel plan. They're beat down. They're at 4. Excuse me. What do you got there, opponent? What do you got there? This is another thought monitor. Nope, it's Sojourners. Neoform, and now I'm dead. imagine this is like Grizzlebrand. Wow, Xaxes. So remember earlier when I said I punted, or I made an honest mistake of shocking when I didn't need to? It actually did end up mattering. Exactly mattering. That's funny. I also could have gone off. I think I should have suspected that they were maybe a Neo build when we saw the green, green-blue. The green-blue artifact land. Yeah. I mean, it's an honest mistake. Or it was an honest mistake. Alright. The benefit is you guys get to watch more magic. The old two-lander with a Karn. So tempting. So tempting, right? This hand has a Fury that we could do, and if I just make my land drops, we have... Now, we probably got to ship this back and look for a Cascade hand, right? Like, it's tempting to keep a Fury Karn hand when we're on the play. I think I'll mulligan it. And maybe we tuck to Fairy. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe I still should keep Teferi over 4th land or Fury. Memnite Shyamalan. Alright. Titania the draw. Okay. Just topped the Thopter? No, they would have already had some of these Thopters. I guess they're playing around Fury a little bit, maybe? To not play some of these out? I don't know. Right, if I had Teferi here, what would I even do, though? I am concerned about the Neoform into Behemoth from my opponent. It doesn't kill us, per se, if that's their last card. I mean, I can't Fury anyway. I can't justify Shardlessing. So, yeah, if they have the Neoform, I guess we're just dead. Gosh, we should have won that last game. I threw it away on an innocent mistake, right? I mean, I think I can take that to the books. That was not our deck's fault. That was a Bruce by mistake. So we'll give ourselves a pseudo singular match win here. Oh, they're just attacking. That's a good sign. We take 5. I do feel a lot more reliant on Garden and... I mean, without Sifter, I should say. I do feel the deck suffers a little. Because those are useful even while you're going off, too. The Omnath. They didn't have it last turn. What are the chances that they would counter an Omnath if that's what I did here? Also, though, that gave me the red card for Fury. Maybe that's what I should have done. It's just Fury. Well, Fury doesn't feel great in the face of this welding jar. Oof. Okay. I mean, I think if they had a counterspell, they would have just used it. So I don't quite know what their last card is. But I have some guesses. They could be sandbag. They could be like, yeah, you have your Omnath, right? They could be sandbagging. So anyways, let's Prismatic. Get our Omnath on. And I think since we are going off with Shardless Agent, I should go get either Forest or Island here. I think either or is fine. Make some mana. Kind of doing our thing, aren't we, folks? And we've even got like a Queller to back this up if they had like a harder piece of counter harder piece of interaction. I'm fairly confident that this is finally enough permanence I'm comfortable to go off with, right? So let's agent white. I don't think they do have interaction here. Famous last words. Oh wow. Okay, so we just wheeled into pretty much our exact same board state. That's funny, but all right. We could shock, couldn't we? I think so. We're gonna gain some more life. We're gonna draw some cards, make some mana. Awesome. We'll fetch before the Omnath draw goes off, as per usual. Give me that forest action. Mountain. Actually, you know what I could have done? I could have played out my Titania before I fetched those. Don't I have enough mana to consider that? I actually think I should have, because that's a lot of extra permanence. It's too late now. I've already cracked too many of the fetches, I think. So I think I'm just gonna have to deal with just having extra mana. Like, it's not like our combo's stopping. I just realized that in retrospect. Like, that was a lot of fetches, and I think I could have actually justified playing out Titania and making some elementals to add to our permanent count. But that's okay. I was going through it a little bit, maybe too quick to think about that. Let's Dark Dwellers. Here we go. There's a Titania, but no fetches this time, of course. So I can quell the... oh no, there's no Cascader this time. So we're actually... Ooh, that's not good. Unless this Omnath draws me to something, we're actually stopping here. I mean, it's not like I'm stopping here and having nothing. I mean, our board's healthy, but I'm really kicking myself I didn't do the Titania thing last turn. Or last glimpse. I think if I had calculated the mana and gone with Titania, make a bunch of elementals, cascade again, I think... Did we have enough mana to Titania and also Dark Dwellers? If I had 10 mana, that's what I should have done, I think. Did the Titania... okay. I don't think the extra mana is going to matter. We have plenty of mana. That's not the bottleneck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 would let me hardcast the Fury and also play out Titania. If I also wanted Queller, nah, that wouldn't change anything. We also could have quelled the Shardless. Yeah, I think I might have missed it, right? And again, I think that's the beauty of the deck, and also like will anyone in their right mind play this? This is like, we're almost in the similar territory that we were with when we were working on like that weird, like adamantium angel build. Do you guys remember that build of the deck we were working with? To another Fury. So I can't Fury away the companion. I can clean up the rest of their team with double Fury. If I Titania again, it doesn't really... I mean, like, it does get me another elemental. I mean, that might be worth it instead of just Furying a bunch. Doing the second Titania might be better. Actually, it looks like I can do both. Doesn't matter. Which one? Go grab this. Actually, I probably shouldn't have gotten the prismatic. Yeah, it's definitely... I think in hindsight, you're right. Like, I could have... Let's do... this? Maybe? I know I can't get the companion. But... I think just putting the Furies into play is fine. We want to activate the Prismatic during their turn, maybe before they draw, because they could kill Titania. Well, it's when it goes to graveyard, so actually I don't think they have a moment to actually mess with that. Actually, they don't have a chance. Gain our life. I got 4 minutes. I think we'll be okay. Our board's pretty good. Like, I totally see what you're talking about though, Mont. I think that there was an opportunity for me to consider quelling our own. So we're 2-2. Doesn't surprise me, right? We get smashed against, and I'm not just gonna sit here and say it's a good draw. Like, I think Amulet Titan's good. I think it got even stronger with the printing of Urza Saga, right? That's very obvious. The Saga wasn't so much made us lose. What made us lose against our opponent earlier today, I think it was more so the well, yeah, no, Saga did pretty consistently give them an extra amulet. So actually, I will say that the Saga was very good for them. But our draw against Burn was just unfortunate. They had Eidolon. We didn't have a removal spell, even though I've added extra removal spells. I mean, like, when I added the Bone Crusher Giants to the deck, I wasn't thinking so much Eidolon as I was thinking Ragavan. Yeah, kill my own Omnaths. I hadn't thought about that. I have thought about killing my own. Oh, this draw is maybe great. I have thought about killing my own Spellcallers. I haven't thought about killing my own Omnaths. You can do with Omnath triggers by killing your own Omnath with Fury. Island Go. Okay. Am I going to wish I had a Cavern of Souls in a second here? Island do nothing. Opt. Ah. Our ugly cousin companion. A fellow Cascader. I mean, unfortunately, their cascading can interrupt my combo. That is the unfortunate truth. So I kind of want them to go off first, and then we want to go off. Yeah, Teferi. We need you, Teferi. Karn, go get. They're a little bit less interactive, though, than Footfalls. So Crashing Footfalls is the most interactive of the different Cascade decks that are... And ours is actually the least interactive. I mean, I'm not going for it, considering they could just Wombo here, right? Like, I see no good reason. Probably just play this out. We drew our second Titania. Sad. Sad day. Yep. I'd love for them to go for it like this. Ish. I mean, I lose the Bone Crusher and the plant, though. Could I really Violent next turn? I don't think I can. Right? I can't really justify doing it, can I? They don't quite have lethal. I mean, what's my other option? I guess Plea would actually be better to start going off with, like we play Gemstone Mine out for our blue source. If I play Omnath, I don't have an extra land drop to gain life or anything. Oh, thanks, Shadowless, for sharing. I'm going to grab that and put it into our Discord that you should be a member of, but you will be someday. Someday soon, Shadowless, I'll do it for you. I will do it for you. We're 2-2, so the day's not going great. You have main deck endurances. It's funny you and I are in agreement with how many provisioners to Omnaths. I like that. It's nice that we've come to a consensus here. Your mana looks clean. I like seeing that. So yeah, so okay, so we're just cascading into hate bears. Interesting. All right. Yeah, maybe I should just try for it. Just hope. I tapped wrong. I think I'm just going for it, guys. I think this only gets worse for us if I wait. I mean, like, sure, I think play out Omnath is a reasonable thing. Let's just get lucky. Let's just get lucky. Please still at least give us 4 permanents. Okay. Alright, so we're going to be up a permanent. Hey, as unexciting as this looks, I'm actually content. It's okay with me. So we can't, unfortunately though, since it wasn't, I think if this had also been, no, that's not true because we already played out our land. I was thinking like, and maybe that's a reason why I shouldn't have, no, we had to play out our land because we needed a higher glimpse count. Sorry, I'm just having lots of little micro thoughts, forgive me folks. Like, I think we're doing the best we can, given the circumstances. We'll leave red floating. Here we go. Too many terrors. Yeah, I think terror is sweet. Ooh, Provisioner, 2 lands, and a Karn. Hello. Hello. Hang on. We got a game here, maybe. Token. I can go get Chardless. Is that correct though? I have to give up a treasure to do that. I could go get Bridge. We won't be below Bridge on anybody but the Riverwinder. If I play Omnath, it doesn't do anything. If I play Titania, my board would be comparable to theirs. Comparable, I should say. Like, the Curator still flies over, but Titania gets a fetch out of my bin. Makes me another treasure. Actually, that might be the best thing to do here, is sack both treasures, play Titania, get this, get another treasure, fetch this, get another treasure. I could even just go get the Zuran Orb. I mean, do we think that they're gonna... Are they going to just Living End again? Just to clear my board? It's a complicated situation here, folks. I'll let them know we're thinking. Let's think about our Karn board, too, before I actually even activate the Karn. I think we should be thinking about this. Like, what are we going to go get? Because I could just Agent, but I don't know if looping is going to do all that much. I mean, I guess it'll generate more mana, and then the Titania play is more feasible, yeah. I wish we would end up, like, have more permanents at the end of this. Yeah, that's cool, Shadowless. That's interesting. I think I'm just going to try to spin the wheel again. I think I should have stopped here and gone for Titania, but here we go. Agent. Yeah. I think the Titania was the better line because we had Provisioner in play. I think Titania was a better line, but I've already committed us to a different line. So if we lose, we lose. So we do lose probably. We actually managed to hit no lands. We hit some spells because we had more than four permanents, right? We had 5 permanents and we ended up down on 4 permanents. So that's disappointing. So I can kill these at least. I can't kill the Riverwinder is. Oh. Okay, Riverwinder is we can't kill the Riverwinder. It's got hexproof. I mean, they can't really benefit from Living Ending again, right? Like, my graveyard now has an Omnath and a Bone Crusher we get back, right? But this is bad news bears for us. I should have gone for the Titania line. The Titania line was sweet. Wouldn't that also have generated... Titania produces 3 with Provisioner. Yeah, I still could have done the Karn into Shardless line. Thanks, Black Death. Nah, I messed this up. Thank you, Montbank. If you see that sooner than I'm realizing, please tell me. Yeah, Titania was 100,000% the right line. Like now I have no mana. Yeah, wow, we still could have even... It's okay. I mean, I see it in hindsight, and I'm learning from it, but... I mean, next turn, if the Omnath doesn't die, I have a fetch, and we can kind of do things. Sure, but... I really dropped the ball with that. The fact that we had a Provisioner meant that I could have still down-ticked Karn and gotten the Agent. This build looks hard to play. Oh, it's the hardest build of this deck I think I've ever worked with, besides that weird, like, Queller Angel build. Because Karn gives me so many choices. Well, no, but I think that no matter which line I took, I was supposed to... There was a best line here, and I'm seeing it in hindsight, unfortunately. It was... play Titania. Yeah, play Titania, get back a fetch, make treasure, fetch, make treasure, have the fetch land, tap the fetch land, tap the 2 treasures, minus Karn, go get Agent, play Agent. And we would have had a lot more permanence because... oh no, and they have a Fury. Rough. So you're gonna kill my Omnath, right? They are trying to kill their own Riverwinder. I mean, they're trying to set up a living end here. Interesting. Oh, they didn't want to shoot my creatures because they didn't want to put more of them in the bin? That makes sense. Wish I had some Furies in the bin myself here. So they're going to get back a Fury, which is going to upset this a lot. So we're going to lose this Omnath. I think we do lose here. And I think it's my fault. I think that if we'd taken the other line, we would have won. And I think it was a pretty clear line, too. Sweet, we get to run it back. No sideboarding. The Zuran Orb wants to stay a Karn target. Yeah, I think... I mean, for sure, Black Death, but it stinks, right? Like, I think... Like, I was sitting there, I was, like, thinking, and, like... I just didn't see it. I just didn't see the potential for... I was like, Titania's going to take us too much mana, but I think this combination... And these two do get along really well, Provisioner and Titania, they do. But I guess I just, on the surface, I didn't see... Okay, I will have enough mana. I should have just mathed it out. If I'd mathed it out, like, we had exactly enough mana, it seemed, at the time, right? To Titania, Karn, go get, Agent. Yeah, I mean, hindsight, right? Do I have time issues? Oh, all the time, Shadowless. It's the better card, though. There's no question. It's the better card because the extra clues in the mid-range that Tireless Tracker offers is not nearly as important as the clues that... I mean, the treasure that Provisioner makes. It's not even close, my friend. If you've already maxed out on Tireless Provisioners, then you can start to consider, in my opinion, you can start to consider the Tireless Trackers. It's not that bad. You just auto-yield to it, and then you just click through. I don't want to run that many Provisioners. For a while, I just wanted the Singleton, because the second one... I think the second Provisioner does... If you hit both of them at the same time, Shadowless, that will eat up a lot of clock. But I think the first or even the second copy is not gonna ruin you. And I'm not trying to loop. I think that's another thing is, I know this might seem like a bit of a meme to you, but the loopy Chancellor builds, I do think that's the stronger build of the deck in theory. That does take a lot more time. I've found. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, right? I think the Terror speeds up that style of deck tremendously. I almost wonder if I'd just rather be using the Terror kill. Now, I know why the Chancellors are there in a lot of builds, right? Chancellors are because if it's in your opener, you get that token. I find a lot of the time, though, and again, this is not me saying, oh, Bone Crusher's better or whatever. They do very different things, right? I think the Wave Sifter is the thing that I miss the most in my current build that I've fundamentally speaking, that I've cut that I would like to make room for again somehow. So maybe as I find a way to like maybe put the Teferis into the sideboard, as I figure out like what like things like like Damping Matrix or Bridge or whatever pieces I'm not tutoring with Karn, I think that'll allow me to maybe move the Teferis into my sideboard, and then from there I can start to play Sifters again, because I do think the deck just really does need some number of Sifters, because not only do they help you set up the combo, right, giving you those clues, I think they also I think very importantly, they also, this hand's fine. As you're comboing off, every time you hit them off of a glimpse, it's 3 permanents. So yeah, I do think like one of the things I've done with the list, like trying to move away from something like Sifter, was probably, and it was for red count, it was for, but if it's for red count, right, like, Dwellers does what Queller can do. I don't know. I'm trying maybe to stretch the archetype too much, perhaps. Admittedly. It is the best card. Wave Sister's the best card if you want to try turn 3. It's the worst card if I want to try to do anything else. Right. And I did hear you out what you were saying, Shadows. You were timing out. Just practice the deck more. I know I'm saying very basic things, but do you like your hotkeys? Are you using them? Just stuff like that. Like when I see other players time out. I played against a fellow person playing kind of the quote unquote, streamlined or, Chancellor build a glimpse. And they were, me getting Fury into the bin is actually really nice in this matchup. I mean, is it even strangely, like weirdly enough, is it correct for me to just put Fury into the graveyard against Living End? Drew a glimpse. Like, should I consider doing that? Just like get this into the bin? Use your hotkey lots. I think I'll just put Fury into the graveyard. Maybe play out Bone Crusher. What a weird, like, some strange lines I'm taking for sure, because my opponent's playing Living End. I think maybe I shouldn't even play out the Bone Crusher. This is a version I've been trying. Let me see, Bank. Thanks for sharing your lists, folks. Yeah, Recruiter, that's spicy. You know what's funny is I actually originally, way earlier, I messed with Plundering Barbarian myself. For those of you that don't know what Barbarian does, that's the either destroy target artifact or make a treasure token. I think that's really cool for this archetype. Yeah, good call on that card. And then it looks like you're trying to cascade into different stuff, maybe. You have a random wheel you're trying to cascade into. It's fun. Are you playing this online, or are you doing this in paper? So they play out a Bone Crusher. Okay. You can't imagine cutting Sifters? Oh, I did it. I did it. Maybe to the detriment. We don't lose plea if they Living End. Maybe I should plea instead of agent. Is that a weird... That's probably a weird reason to do that. So we try to go off again next turn. That's kind of a very tame glimpse, right? All I ended up with was just one extra permanent in the end. And I'm not convinced my opponent doesn't have, like, forces or whatever. Access to force. I'm not convinced they don't have one in their hand, rather. Hang on, let me open the drapes here. The lighting has changed. There we go. They have another Bone Crusher. So down goes our agent. So that stinks. Let's not crack this fetch. Because we have Provisioner in our hand. Take 4. Yeah, I think Bone Crusher and by extension like Borrower and such like are really cool in these builds. Should I just go for it again? I think that's maybe not great. But we have all the colors, so I'm just trying to figure out. I mean, I need to choose. If I'm playing Agent next turn, I do need to choose Island, don't I? Or no, I don't. I already have blue-green here. Could get red. Red often seems to be a bottleneck for the deck, not having enough red mana. So let's play out the Provisioner. It's fine. Go. So should they Living End, we get back a Fury and an Agent. We keep the Ardent Plea. We go down a Provisioner. Okay. If they attack, maybe I should just... Oh, okay. Provisioner's dying. I was going to say, if they attack, maybe I would block. The fact that they're Furying away Provisioner makes me wonder. I do think Fury's really cool, and is Fury typical to Living End? I think that's really cool technology because you get to loop them, you get to use them again. Is punishment crime? Do you like an Abzan, or don't you only need blue? Don't you only need green black for that Sard, the side of the card you want to be casting? Let's just try to go for it here. If they have a counterspell, so be it. Or if they have a force, so be it. Alright, Tamir, Living End lists, play Fury. You haven't seen any other color combinations, play it. Ooh, Karn. Okay, so we can just grab their bin, right? We just go get the Tormod's Crypt, right? Oh, you know what? I just messed up. I wasn't supposed to fetch. Gosh. What am I doing? I have a Titania I was going to make a bunch of mana for. Oh, no, I do need another green source. Never mind. That's fine. That at least made sense. Because I needed another green source for the Titania to actually play her. But, is this going to math out? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Titania. Yes, that is going to math. That maths. Guys, it maths. But I need green source. I mean, I have some life points to work with. You guys like just Tormod's crypting their bin, right? Or are we just like we're the combo, we're doing our thing? Do we not even bother? Is there a 12? I nearly killed him now. Petty theft my Karn. I did have a window to maybe downtick my Karn. I hadn't decided what I wanted to do with my Karn yet, and I wasn't thinking about theft, so that's fine. I think that like makes it so I know what I'm doing now, though. Like, aren't I just outbursting? We have one more glimpse, don't we? No, we don't. We do not. Okay, good to know. Okay, so that changes what I'm doing then. So I am Furying their giant then, right? This is exiled, so I was thinking I had another glimpse. That's sad. If the first thing I did, well, no, there were a bunch of triggers on the stack. If the opponent wanted to borrow our Karn, they could have, no matter what I did. But technically, they gave me a window to activate Karn that I didn't take, that they shouldn't have. Yeah, so if they were to living end this next turn, what happens? We end up with... They would have Curator, Curator, Bone Crusher, Fury. I would end up, though, with Fury, Fury, Agent, Provisioner. Yeah, let's not crack this other fetch. Outburst and Response. Melee Mage, Living End. Spicy. Yep, so they're cascading. Do I want 4 life or do I want to treasure more? I want to treasure more, right? I was thinking about cracking this and the implications with Omnath, but I think the implications with Provisioner is better. So I have some triggers, they have some triggers. Let's go. I probably just shoot down both of their Curators, right? See how they want to spend their Fury. Yeah, no, that's actually really interesting, Shadowless, to think about. All right, so they are deciding to go after these. That's pretty predictable. All right, so let's do my triggers. So, okay, so I could kill... I think I should just kill their 2 Curators, right? They've got me in the air. Like, I can win on the ground, but I'll lose in the air, right? So let's not lose in the air. No, cancel. Lock this in. Yeah, let's just kill their flyers. I think that's justifiable. And before this goes off on my Provisioner, I do want to fetch. Since we have Forest, we should get this Sacred Foundry, right? Maybe. I can't imagine that they could justify living ending again, right? Like, we have Titania, we have an Omnath. I don't know. Those die. But our board is comparable. Yes, 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 they have like a Borrower and a Bone Crusher. So like I do realize that we're behind card-wise. I mean, Teferi, of course, makes it so that they can't do their thing. Maybe playing out Teferi is better than... I'm concerned about the Bone Crushers and everybody hitting the table. But I can protect Teferi for a little while. Let's go with Teferi. Changed my mind. I changed my mind. I'm just concerned about even just their adventure creatures. Why not bounce Agent? I guess Agent is a free bounce, right? Since Teferi's on the table. If I get another turn with Teferi, I'll consider it, Shadows. No, it's better to bounce the flyer. Well, but Brazen Borrower has flash, though. So I actually won't get the opportunity. I think Shadowless was right that I should have just minused on the Agent because it's kind of a freebie. So we want to trade off one of our Furies. Aha. I'll just trade him. This is a weird matchup, right? Because I have stuff that's worth getting reanimated as well. So it kind of puts them in a weird position. Oh, wow, they're just... Oh, yeah. True. Teferi's text makes it so. But, like, if we put the borrower back into their hand, isn't that, like, not great? Because then they could just borrow my Teferi. I guess we don't care. Like... No, I'm with you. I'm with you. So, I know I said something silly earlier, but I'm with you that I don't think it's obvious what we bounce if we are to bounce with the Teferi. I think we will bounce with the Teferi. I just don't think it's obvious. I think we also should just Karn for Tormod's Crypt. They do have one more living end, right? At least. Maybe just get Bridge. Well, if we get Bridge... Yeah, I mean, I think Bridge is a good idea. That's where I was leaning also thinking about. Because we can get behind it. Kind of glad I put that back in my Karn board. Yeah, I do think that the Shardless was kind of a free bounce, wasn't it? Missed opportunity. So, like, but if I do minus now with Teferi, then they get to pick and choose which Planeswalker they want to kill. Whereas if I don't minus on Teferi, they have to make choices. Well, they're going to go after Karn with the Brazen Borrower, but... Yeah. We also had Portable Hull. Portable Hull is CMC2. Converted mana cost value 2 or less. This is turning into a weird game for sure. This has been an interesting league. Yeah, Living End certainly looks interesting now, doesn't it? I feel like their only good attack is the Borrower. So Borrower's going to go after the Karn. It's fine. Okay. I mean, they have more borrowers, so it's not like this bridge is for sure going to protect us. Let's think about that. Bone Crusher of my own, maybe a little late to the party. And Teferi can be drawing us cards. He doesn't have to just be plussing. We can be minusing him even if I don't have a target. I mean, I guess I should just target the agent, maybe. Breaker. Okay. So I'm going to breaker my bridge. So I can spend the treasure to crush the borrower. We'll see how they attack first. Going after me. Oh, wow, that's it? Cool. Hiya. They blow up bridge and yet only attack with the borrower because the Fury's locking up things pretty well, pretty nicely. So yeah, we surely need to bounce something now, right? So it's Agent or Breaker. Bounce Fury. We could also... Yeah, that's true. Bounce my own Fury. All right, let's do it. Many turns later, your suggestion from way earlier mount. Oh, wow, we do hit the 5th land. Fifth land actually lets us play out this Bone Crusher and also have Stomp for their Foundation Breaker. In a strange way, this looks like it might be favoring us, this board state. So you're thinking we get to hardcast Fury? Be interesting. A subtlety. Okay. Oh yeah, Deadly. Welcome back to, or welcome to, for the first time, Magic Online. I think we just kill the Breaker here. Go get, we'll do it with Mountain. Our colors are fine. I think we would want one more green source, admittedly, because there's one more Titania that I could draw into, right? So, like, in fairness, one more green source would be nice, but I'll probably see second green source before I see the first Titania, but maybe not. Okay, so we do have this Queller. Queller does counter things in this matchup, but I think your line of pick up Fury and kill... Now it's pick up Fury, kill Subtlety, right? Ooh, we drew a Karn. Okay. I think this is still what I'm doing. We should Karn and get rid of their graveyard, right? We should finally get the Tormod's Crypt that I meant to get forever ago. Got 9 minutes left. This might be them living ending. Oh no, this is them hardcasting their... Whoa, Deadshot Minotaur hitting the bin, or hitting the board. I think that Karning away their graveyard is a smart idea. Like, they do have more creatures in their bin than I do. Like, my bin's not weak by any stretch of the imagination, but... Okay, there's our second green source. I think Karn for Tormods just gives us a lot of insurance. Doesn't it? Well, we're definitely Karning instead of holding up Queller. It's just a matter of what am I getting. I don't know. I think Tormod's Crypt is smart. We're in agreement. It's Tormod's Crypt, right? What about Ballista? Let's start with Tormod's Crypt. Board state still favors us because of Fury. Fury's a silly card. Next turn we get to untap with Queller. Yeah, I think we're gonna get this maybe. I liked Ballista. Maybe next grab should be Coding. Yeah, we could go after their lands. It's a very fair thing to do with Karn, right? Blow up their lands. Yeah, maybe go get Liquid Metal Coating, hold up Spell Queller. Spell Queller is great when we have it to Fairy. Uh-oh. What is this? What is it? Is this Hardcast Breaker? Ooh, Fury. That's a problem. Spell Queller wouldn't have been able to counter Fury. So we just got to protect Karn, right? So they're going after Teferi. So I can't protect Karn. They're both going after Karn. I could protect Teferi, though. These are both going after Karn. There's nothing I can really do to save him. But I could save my Teferi. Yeah, we're pretty screwed. I mean, we still have some powerful top deck potential, but I kind of needed a Karn to put Glimpse back in, because we've spent all our Glimpses. There is... yes, this Shardless wouldn't actually hit anything, because there's 2 Glimpses in my graveyard and there's 1 in my exile pile. Yikes. Okay. Are we just playing out Agent? What are we doing? Oh, I have a Bone Crusher to play out. Let's do that. Also, I was worried for a second that I tapped wrong. I should have tapped both of the gardens. We can still play Queller. Queller doesn't block anything nicely, though, anymore. But playing out Agent doesn't protect our Teferi either. I think we've lost this one, folks. Like, I needed to be able to put Glimpse back in, or need to draw exactly... I mean, there's 30 cards left, so there's 2 Karns still to draw to. There's still Titania to draw to. We still have a small amount of cards, I think, that get us out of this. Could also just draw another Fury. Outburst. Why are we outbursting? Are we outbursting? Yeah, I'm not running any Endurances, Shadow. I actually don't have the budget for it. I mean, if I changed other things, if I wasn't... So, I had to purchase a lot of the fetches for this build. So it's just an Anthem. Okay. I actually don't have the budget for it, is the reason why I'm not playing Endurance or Force of Vigor, or... There's... Like, in order for me to get my hands on 2 Teferi, 4 Karn, my fetches, the deck, and the Furies. Furies have gone up in price. So yeah, just stuff like that. These just going face. Face is the place. Okay, so I'm dead to this Fury. I kind of feel like, unfortunately, that's where I have to do my blocking, right? On the Fury. If I block this Giant and I block this Deadshot... If I block these 2, that doesn't feel great either. I mean, like, the only benefit of doing this way is that I get the Bone Crusher off the table, but this is just a chump. Honestly, I should just chump the Fury. I should try to trade Bone Crushes and then chump Fury with Queller, right? Is that what we're doing? I think that's what I'm supposed to do. Oh, are they giving this trample? That's spicy. Am I just dead? I've not seen that wombo. Looks like I'm dead. Who knew? Oh no, I'm at 1. Okay. Interesting. Another Queller doesn't quite do it. I mean, I could live... I can't. Am I minusing my Teferi on their Fury? That feels so bad to do. But I can't really let this stay on the table, can I? Because when they go to attack with Deadshot, I can flash in the Queller to block that. Drew a Titania? Fantastic. We can still win, maybe. Well, actually, no. I need a way to sacrifice my lands somehow. Because I'm at 1. No. No. So we've lost. because they just Fury my Titanium were dead. I should have just sat on play Queller, flash Queller in. I'll concede here and see what our next draw was, and the fetching wouldn't have changed. Okay, I'm gonna run it back, but I'm gonna make a couple changes. I think during that league, I actually never wanted to be able to. Yeah, I never needed to or wanted to use the damping matrix once. And this is just going off our last league. I think I do want to keep portable hull and defense grid. But I think we did use bridge, so we'll keep bridge. But the we could let go of the damping matrix. And I kind of want to steal some of your technology, Shadow, that you were sharing. So it's not stealing, I'm borrowing. We're asking for it. We didn't use the Pithy Needle once, but I think Needle is just a good card to include in your card board. Yeah, thanks, friend. I think Kataki is what I want. Let's see. So yeah, so like for you were using your hate bears of choice were Kataki, Meddling Mage, and Firewalker. I'm right there with you on Kataki. I'm even there with you with perhaps the Meddling Mage. I think that's really cool technology. I don't know about the core Firewalker, but I mean, I get it. I understand, like, you wanted something for burn or other aggressive decks. I'm sure it's also useful against prowess, right? You can use that against prowess, too. Firewalker's questionable unless I'm in a prowess and burn meta. But I do think that Kataki and Meddling Mage are sweet ideas. I don't know if I would go as all in as you are, just because... Well, okay, so let's talk about it briefly. So what do I actually need in my Karn board to make Karn a combo piece for this archetype? And again, I actually was originally playing 3 Quellers, and oh yeah, we could maybe try to sneak these into the sideboard too. But I was, although they are a main board piece because they let me bounce Agents or the Plea, but technically. Yeah, I mean, against Burn, we're just hoping to wheel into Omnaths and gain a bunch of life that way. I think it's a little sad that we lost the die roll against our Burn opponent tonight, but like between Fury and Bone Crusher, I usually can remove Eidolon and then go off and gain some life along the way, or like eat some food as we're going off. I do kind of want to re-include something that... So, okay, we're brainstorming here. And I don't really have the budget unless we give the deck back. Let me give the deck back, and I'm not trying to get us into necessarily just like a random Kataki or the... I do like the Meddling Mage idea as well. I thought that was a unique approach. But let me... let's... Okay, well, before we destroy the deck, maybe we should open a new copy. Let's do that. So let's open a new copy of the deck. I like that Spell Queller aids in the combo and just lower to the ground. I'm not really sold on... well, we'll talk about it. So, Meddling Mage, Kataki. I think that's really cool. I think for me, if I'm going to play them, I would play the Singletons. And so I would, for my build anyway, I would still have in Glimpses, but just, I'd have these as an incidental whoops we win, right? Queller without endurance. It feels questionable. Was that a pun? That sounds kind of punny the way you said it. Queller is questionable. I guess it's just at least alliteration. So, couple things. I want to get our red count higher. And yeah, I'm not sure about these slots, right? Or mainboard to fairy slot, right? I do think I want to do the Karn thing. And if I'm doing the Karn thing, I should be running some number of Titanias. So it's kind of like these 5 or so that we have some playroom. We could even cut the second Provisioner. I want at least 1 copy. But I do think the Provisioner has a lot of synergy for Titania. So yeah, let me see if I can't get us maybe into an Endurance. Or, I mean, remember that the Karns are doing a similar thing to what the Endurance is doing, which is... I don't know if you realized this earlier while I was playing Shadowless, but the the Conjurer's Bauble is sort of doing what. So Bauble is put up to one target card from your grave. I wish it was multiple. I wish we could get more than one card, but so Bauble lets me bottom a Glimpse and then Cascade. The Brainstone I wasn't playing for a while, and I kept ending up with like all the mana in the world and everything I needed, and I just wasn't. I started thinking, okay, should I just play a 4th Glimpse it tomorrow? And then I realized, oh wait, I can just maybe use the Karn to fix this problem. And so let me just show you. I think this will help you guys understand the sideboard a lot better. And I would also maybe include Ballista in this pile, because if I don't have Titania, I need something to sink all that mana into. So Shardless Hammer, Ballista Brainstone, Bauble, Spellbomb, Zurin Orb. So it's this 7. I mean, Ballista, though, is flexible enough that it's not only a combo piece, but these are kind of the combo pieces. So I really could get rid of all this other stuff, in theory. But I think Explosives is a nice target for Karn, even though it's not part of the combo. Spellbomb is to bounce the... it bounces Dwellers, it bounces Quellers, it bounces Agent. So yeah, so the Aether Spellbomb has been nice in my testing. I want to keep it. The Conjurer's Bauble's been nice. Zurin Orb is here because of Titania. So it's this 6 or 7-ish cards. What about Felden's Cane? Felden's Cane is Modern Legal? You sure this is Modern Legal? Oh, it is. Couldn't we also just play, like, at that point, couldn't we play, oh, you know what? I get it. So, yeah, originally I was playing this instead of Conjurer's Bauble. I do like that Bauble draws me a card, though, but I was playing, I was considering Elixir of Immortality, and the problem of Elixir of Immortality was that, I actually really like this Cane idea. That's not that much mana. It's the same mana commitment as Conjurer's Bauble. Yeah, Elixir, and especially if I'm not playing any Dwellers or few Dwellers, then the reshuffles, like, lets us do the 5th and on Glimpse. Conjurers, of course, only gives me 1, but maybe the draw it gives me is not as good as... Yeah, this is a cool idea. Elixir shuffling itself is so awful. No. The Elixir of Immortality doesn't exile itself, which actually makes it a problem child. We want, yeah, Elixir not... Yeah, exactly what Mount Blank just said. Yeah, I think maybe... I didn't think about Cane. Maybe Cane's better than the Conjurer's Bauble idea. So I was trying to create, like, the endurance effect without needing to purchase endurances, and it's a budget constraint. I have 500 tickets I can borrow. This is really, really cool technology. I might just steal this idea, Mount Bank. I did not realize that this would be do essentially what Conjurer's Bauble's already doing for me, but maybe better, because it shuffles multiple Glimpses. And yeah, if I'm doing like a weird Spell Queller pop or bounce plan, instead of the traditional Goblin Dark Dwellers thing, which I do think makes my deck a little bit more interactive, which I like. But then we're too reliant on Karn. The Spellbomb and the... Oh, I know that. Yeah, I mean, like, as we activate Karn throughout the combo, I think... I totally understand what you're saying, Shadowless. It's not perfect. And I don't think there is, and I think that's the beauty of it, is I don't think there is a perfect Glimpse deck. A lot of players think that we quote unquote, we figured it out with, they think it's been figured out with, Chancellor of the Forge. I'm not convinced. I think, yes, like giving up a little bit of speed and giving up, yeah, I mean, essentially by not playing a Chancellor build, I've already resided myself to giving up some speed to be a bit more mid-rangey, a bit more interactive. And it's like, okay, Bruce Spy, well, what's the point of that? Isn't this supposed to be at like the most uninteractive Cascade deck in the format? Yeah, I think it is. So I'm not convinced. I mean, I've played this deck for a long time without anything like Bone Crush. I would somehow need to get my red count up. And I don't know how I want to go about doing that just yet. I haven't figured it out. Bank says, actually, I'm certain the Chancellor is unnecessary. Yeah, and I think that the Goblin Dark Dwellers was just like a poor concession to me, like not figuring out what my build of the deck should have been doing, because like Queller is a speed bump, and that's a good thing. Like even though it takes like weird pieces or like the Karn or my Teferi, like I have other ways to bounce the Queller. I mean, Furies can also pop Queller, so I actually I don't know if you realize that, but you can stack it so that the Fury kills the Queller after the Queller has grabbed the Cascade spell. You can stack it properly. I was practicing that leading up to today's stream. It didn't come up in the league, but that is a very important thing for me to do. If we're going to be on a Spell Queller build, is either... Yeah, and I think having more cards besides... So let's talk about it this way. Karn or Fury or Teferi make the Quellers function. That was my theory. That was the idea. But I think that the deck really does want something like Sifter, or I need something. So it doesn't have to be Bone Crusher Giant. It's just I was trying to make it so that the red count stayed high. I also just want something that, as we're comboing, gives me multiple permanents. I think Spyros would do that. I think continuing with these, and then, well, then I don't have room for... Yeah, maybe we just try to sideboard these, and maybe I don't bother with any of this stuff. Trying to slim the board into just exactly what we were actually searching for. Play Tender Shoot Dryad. Hey, what's up, Steve? All right, Steve, you would love this combo, by the way. Spyro's not Spyro. Yeah, that's true. But Spyro is just a solid Magic card. Spyro is red count for Fury. I'm not convinced that I have to play this many Bone Crushers, by the way. I'd like some number of early interaction. I don't know if I'm supposed to play the playset necessarily. Yeah. But yeah, Spyro, I almost typed Spyro. Yeah, Seasoned Pyromancers. I mean, even just the first copy, like that could be how we get to the right amount of red. And again, what is the right amount of red for Fury, right? Is it this much? I just don't know. Well, I think in order for us to test if the Queller is a sufficient substitute, we should just mess around with the playset. And again, if I'm playing the playset, then it's almost like I want to just be mainboarding the Teferis. But let's give the deck back to our sponsor, Card Hoarder, and I'll see if I can't finagle us into even the first copy of Seasoned. And then maybe you guys can help me figure out what our last sideboard card is. It's got to be... sorry, we should still be playing the Explosives, right? So maybe I just won't be able to be cascading into the Hate Bears, and I'm just a little bit more just trying to do our thing. I think the problem we were experiencing was, as much as I liked having a little bit of extra interaction, I think we just need to be setting up better. And I do think that Spyro sets us up really nicely. I'll see how many copies of Spyro I can get, and maybe that will allow us to figure out how many Bone Crushers we're going to play. I think Spyro is just an amazing Magic card, and really that's what Sifter's trying to do, right? Sifter's trying to let you go off a turn earlier. Sifter's giving me one less permanent technically. A lot of the time it's just the 2 clues, whereas Spyro could be 3 permanents, seriously. And whilst we're going off, he's going to help us cycle into the combo. I'm just sitting on like a lot of cards that I just don't need to have rented anymore as well. So let me just clean up our account. I tried a bunch of different weird stuff. You guys have no idea. I was trying all sorts of weird stuff with Titania, trying to make her work, and I think Karn has just been the best other piece. I do think that there's like potentially like because Titania does kind of work on her own. Just real quick, just to step away from Karn for just one brief second. Titania does kind of work in this deck on her own naturally, just because you can wheel into her in a bunch of fetches. But I think the Karn's made her quite a bit more consistent. You'll die to Affinity and Hammer without Kataki though.